bacteria.
See, already you're doing it much better. No.
The bottom of the tube is baited with food that's rich in iron.
And what they're going to do is they're going to mine the film. They're going to try and take the film, the gelatin off, and so they're going to tunnel, they're going to etch it away, and then we're going to hopefully see some beautiful patterns. Because science isn't just science, it's also art. So what we do is we now put this down.
Colomar hopes to collect bacteria that prefer the iron.
So what we've got...
As these bacteria remove the iron from Titanic, they build these elaborate rust-like structures dubbed rusticles. Colomar believes that the iron-consuming bacteria are the main culprits devouring Titanic.
The ship is starting to disintegrate. And is that disintegration because the rusticles are sucking more and more iron out of the steel, and now the ship cannot support itself, so gradually she's going to go in. Which means the integrity, the structure of the ship, one day will collapse.
What Colomar hopes to do is determine how much of the Titanic has been eaten by the microbe-infested rusticles.
What's frustrating me is, how fast are they growing? How fast are they extracting the iron from the plates of the Titanic? How long will the Titanic last?
As Colomar prepares to gauge the ultimate fate of Titanic, naval architects David Livingstone and Bill Garsky look back to the night of the disaster.
Kilometers away, and we took it right.
Now that they know the true iceberg damage and the pattern of flooding, they are beginning to grapple with one more puzzling mystery.
Now,
how did Titanic break into pieces on calm seas?
This is a really jumbled mass of twisted metal, pipe, cable, wires. You name it, it's there, and it's all crushed up together. It's not
unbelievable.
It's not a very inviting place at all.
It's almost like a giant just ripped it apart. I mean, it looks that way.
When the revelation came that the ship was broken in two, it was absolutely astounding to us because of the weight, the credence that we had given the historical reports, and in particular the two investigations that had found that the ship had sank largely intact.
In testimony, all the surviving officers said Titanic sank intact. Others saw the ship break into pieces. Why does history offer such a puzzling account filled with inconsistencies?
There are almost as many interpretations and depictions of the breakup as there are people who gave the testimony.
Survivor Jack Thayer had a sketch made and reproduced on the front page of the Philadelphia Bulletin that clearly shows the ship breaking at the surface. Other testimony depicts the ship breaking when it was underwater.
The controversy is, did the vessel break at the surface? Did it break on the way down? Or did it break when it got to the ocean bottom?
Once you go up, that's the scariest part in terms of she'll start to sweat.
David Livingstone will be searching the wreck site for clues to the breakup.
It's quickly the A-frame is going to take you back, and once you do that...
Last-minute advice is given by expedition organizers.
Once you're locked into that pen, and they're decided that he's ready...
Never before has a naval architect explored the Titanic.
Besides being a naval architect, I think any engineer would be fascinated. Whether we will ever know precisely what happened, I doubt that. I think we can make a guess at what might have happened and in the order in which it might happen.
As Livingstone sinks to the Titanic, the crew on board Ocean Voyager prepares some unique equipment to aid in his dive. 4 specially designed underwater light towers will shine a blazing spotlight on the wreck. The towers generate light power equivalent to 35,000 household bulbs. One-half ton of chain will carry the lights to the bottom of the North Atlantic. Giant lift bags will pull the lights back to the surface once the chains are released. At the Titanic, Livingstone's first task is to place the biological experiments of Roy Colomar on the wreckage of the bridge.
So those are some instruments and tests that we have to place, and it's suggested that they're placed on the bridge.
That's the group. Okay.
But at an area where there should be a lot of corrosion, so that the scientists can see what is happening and what sort of interactions there are.
The experiments will remain here for several days in order to give the bacteria time to gorge on the bait inside. Livingstone slowly moves from the bow to the stern. At the stern, the crew uses Natil's robotic arm to drag the deep sea light towers into position.
We have just moved away a little bit, and we have asked the command to turn on exterior lights to the submarine. Ah, this is beautiful. Yeah. Very, very powerful lights. This is the first time. Now I can see this engine.
A veil of darkness is removed, and Titanic's massive 4-story engines are revealed. The rubble surrounding the engines is all that remains of the stern's once great decks. Livingstone begins to inspect the jagged edges and confusing shadows for clues to the breakup. To his trained eye, the engine seemed to have snapped in half.
The port engine, the fact that one of the cylinders is broken off indicates some of the very immense forces that were acting on the hull at that time. The engine itself was a massive structure. Both engines together weighed some 2,600 tons. But the fact that such a big piece of engine has just disappeared, and quite cleanly, indicates some of the forces that were at work during the sinking.
It appears to Livingstone that Titanic broke here